Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Tabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things. And we see them. And today we got a very, very interesting show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, my name is Charles Tabansi. My handle is CTABANZ. If you want to follow Dreamerspro, make sure you follow Dreamerspro. Same name as the channel. And make sure you check out the Dreamerspro podcast that we have pinned in the comment section below. Anyway, let me get into this topic here because I'm definitely going to enjoy this particular show. Now, about a day ago, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver went to do an interview, sit-down interview on ESPN. And he was being interviewed by Stephen A. Smith. As you guys know, the NBA season is less than 5 days away or about 5 to 10 days away from ramping up. So what happened? He goes in there talking about different things. And then at one point, they start discussing load management. Now, for maybe some of you guys are not aware, they've implemented a lot of different provisions. Now, one of them is that if you even want to qualify for various awards like MVP, All-NBA team, and those things like that, you need to play a minimum of 65 games this season, number one. Number two, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has made it crystal clear that he wants to send a message to the fans that this is a league that respects, that's all about playing 82 games. And I think they're also trying to send a subtle message to their sponsors and people that support the league. I think that's the other thing. And one of the things he had said a few weeks prior was the fact that load management simply doesn't work. And funny enough, I even heard a modern player playing in this NBA, and Paul George, on the Paul George podcast, essentially say how he believes that this load management is actually making his body weaker. That's what Paul George said. Not what I said, not what the guy on YouTube who played basketball at Rucker Park said. That's what Paul George said, a player that plays in this NBA. That's what Paul George said. And a lot of us agree with him. Now, where am I going with this? This morning, I was doing some research and I came across an audio via fadeawayworld.net that features some comments that Gilbert Arenas made on the Gil's Arena. Now, what did Gilbert Arenas say? As you guys know, they have this show. It was Gilbert Arenas. They have a rotating panel, but I think it was Gilbert Arenas and Kenyon Martin. That's at least who I saw in this particular segment. And they were talking about the NBA and they were talking about various things. And then it got to the part where they were talking about load management. And to my surprise, to my absolute surprise, Gilbert Arenas started ripping into this current crop of NBA players because these guys are averse to playing full games, and they were asking who's more difficult to guard, Allen Iverson or Kyrie Irving. And then all of a sudden, he started talking about how Allen Iverson was a warrior. He would play all of these games, and these guys, for whatever reason, have no problem collecting checks. But when it comes time to show up, they never do it. So what we want to do is we want to first play the original rant of what Allen Iverson said a few years ago about practice, and then we're going to play what Gilbert Arenas had to say. So take a listen to what Allen Iverson had to say a few years ago. Take a listen to that.
Anybody tell you that I miss practice, if a coach say I miss practice and y'all hear it, then that's that. I mean, I might have missed one practice this year, but if somebody say he doesn't come to practice, it can be one practice. Out of all the practices this year, that's enough. If I can't practice, I can't practice, man. I'm hurt, I'm hurt. I mean, simple as that. It ain't about that. I mean, it's not about that at all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but it's easy to talk about. It's easy to sum it up when you just talk about practice. We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. Well, Coach, I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that, man? We're talking about practice. I know I'm supposed to be there. I know I'm supposed to lead by example. I know that. And I'm not shoving it aside, like it don't mean anything. I know it's important. I do. I honestly do. But we talking about practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice? We talking about practice, man. We talking about practice. We talking about practice. We ain't talking about the game. We talking about practice, man. When you come in the arena and you see me play, don't you? Absolutely. You see me give everything I got, right?
Absolutely.
But we talking about practice right now.
But it's an issue that your coach
We talking about
you to raise.
Man, look, I hear you. It's funny to me too. I mean, it's strange to me too. But we talking about practice, man. We're not even talking about the game, the actual game, when it matters. We talking about practice.
Now, is it possible, though, that from where he's coming from, if you practice, not you would be better, but your teammates would be better?
How the hell can I make my teammates better by practicing?
So you heard what Allen Iverson had to say in that clip. This is an infamous clip. A lot of people use that against him. But in that audio, AI was essentially saying, you jokers are here breaking my balls because I missed one practice, but you're not paying attention to what I actually deliver on the court. Now, if you know anything, I mean anything about Allen Iverson, he was one of the most durable players in the NBA. He played with absolutely zero fear. He would always go crash into the trees, get knocked down, stand back up, and keep coming at you. I heard Kobe Bryant and so many other players say that Allen Iverson was absolutely relentless. And Kobe said if it wasn't for the way that AI pushed him, he would not have become the player that he ended up becoming. So to hear Gilbert Arenas, who actually played in that era, who played against Kobe, who played against AI, basically go off on these players was quite refreshing. So what we want to do is want to play exactly what Gilbert Arenas had to say on the Gil show, and then we're going to come back and react to his thoughts. Take a listen to what Gilbert Arenas had to say there.
Y'all should be apologizing because he missed practice, played in the game. They are missing games, and none of y'all are saying.
Hey, talk about it.
Like, y'all even run those clips today. Like, we ain't talking about the game because, we're not talking about the game. When the game come, he was there 100%. He's playing 1,000 miles an hour.
Yep.
He's giving you his all.
Every game.
And y'all crucified this man for that. And now you're allowing, you're putting rules in.
So they can miss games.
Just don't have 2 stars miss games. Games? He was missing free practice. They're missing paid games.
Hey, I'm sure them in practice too. They at practice.
They missing practice. They missing practice and games.
They on the bike.
And they on the bike.
Watching practice.
I remember when he said practice, and I'm sitting there like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Who practices? Like, think about it. What are we practicing for? What was Philly? What were y'all arguing about? Like, what was the concept of, like, killing this man for not practicing? What were they gonna practice? Hey, AI, get the ball and go score.
Yeah.
Hey, because that's what the game was. Here, AI, go score. What is that? What he needs to practice on? Giving me the ball the whole time to go score and practice. Like, no. Like, hey, I'm gonna sit out. Y'all do something without me.
Yeah. Y'all get better.
Y'all get better. Do something. Work on some when
Y'all just gonna give me the ball anyway. So here, go get some.
Like, they really think that James Harden is sitting in practice doing the James Harden. No, that's what they do in the game.
Yeah.
Like, no one practiced.
So you heard what he had to say. Listen, I 100% concur with him. I 100% concur with him. I recently listened to Richard Jefferson. I remember listening to Kobe. Kobe, these guys said, listen, it's an 82-game season. He said it's your job to be ready. The NBA selects out for the best players in the world. And when you have guys come in the NBA playing an 82-game season, you're basically showing them that we're the only players in the world that can play at this level. So to have guys now looking for slick ways, guys, teams, and all of these guys looking for ways to load manage and run away from the game, it's something that irritates guys that came from the previous era, and it irritates the fans. Now, to me, I can't figure out why so many players in the past used to play 80-plus games a season, 78-plus games a season regularly, and now if a guy plays 75 games, all of us are supposed to stand up and start twerking it up all over the place for him and congratulating him. Anthony Davis, who has an injury history, now his motto this year is I want to play 82 games. Now if a player says I want to play 75, 80 games, oh my God, you want to play 75? It's like, well, that's what he gets paid for, is it not? You're literally getting paid for an 82-game season, and we're supposed to stand up here and clap for you for playing the 82 games that you're being paid for. Help me figure it out. How does that make any sense whatsoever? And the discussion has been brought up, well, should we reduce the games? They will never do that. Because if you reduce the games, you're going to reduce the revenue. And nobody wants to reduce the revenue. So who gets left holding the bag? You, the fan. That is why I am astounded to hear NBA fans, some NBA fans, pushing for low management. It makes absolutely no sense. You know, it is 100% egregious where you have a situation in which you have a player, maybe playing, let's say on the Clippers, goes to New York, and he's only going to be in New York one time a year, and he low manages on that game. And the New York City fans have to wait until the following year to see that player play. That is absolutely disgusting. And I'm happy to see Gilbert Arenas point this out. AI and those dudes, they took the game seriously. And to me, I don't know why we got to stand up and clap for dudes for them doing their jobs. I don't understand it. You played 82 games. That's what you're supposed to do. So I don't understand why it needs to make news. But unfortunately, this is the NBA we're in. But what I'm happy about is that now we're beginning to go away from this. And hopefully what happens is that the training begins to change. Because I remember listening to Tim Grover, Michael Jordan's former trainer, the trainer that also trained Dwayne Wade, that also trained Kobe Bryant. He said one of the issues he's been noticing as the reason why guys' bodies are breaking down is because they're not training with, they don't have enough resistance. They're using resistant bands instead of weights, lifting heavy things, strengthening their bones. That's what he said, and obviously in a very simplistic way. So to me, I'm happy Gilbert Arenas said that. As a guy that usually is on the side of contemporary players, it's very refreshing to hear him come out there and say what he said about Allen Iverson and about these current players. So what I want to know from you guys is simply this: what do you think about the position that that Gilbert Arenas took? And number two, do you think we're going to start seeing more players play more games moving forward? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comments section, and we catch you guys on the next show. Peace.